taarifa zetu mapema katika vipasho ni kwamba Profesa Kithure Kindiki alichukua usukani wa idara ya usalama wakati taifa linakumbwa na changamoto si haba za kiusalama. Baadhi walitilia shaka uwezo wake kukabili changamoto katika sekta hiyo, lakini Profesa Kindiki anatoa hakikisho kuwa amevalia njuga changamoto za usalama nchini na ataangamiza majambazi wanaoua watu na kuiba mifugo, kando na kuhakikisha kuwa idara za usalama zinatekeleza majukumu yao kwa kuzingatia sheria. Hassan Mugambi alikaa naye, hapa taarifa yake.
Are we going to see some form of establishment of barracks in these security areas, or establishment of police headquarters or unit headquarters in these crime-infested and volatile areas like we saw in Karamoja area in northern Uganda, to just take care and focus attention on this particular place?
Without delving into our operational framework, I would like to say the following: that we intend to populate all the affected and security sensitive areas with as many security officials as possible from the various formations. And you have heard the President pronounce himself on this matter, and I want to repeat and reaffirm the same position, that we are prepared to spend whatever human resources are required, whatever financial resources that are required, whatever measures we need to make sure that we have enough personnel, and we are going to move even the command of operations from the rest of the country, from Nairobi, to make sure that that command is based here. And I have already established a special office for the Northern Frontier districts to enable me address the security issues in this corner conclusively. And as the President said, if need be, if we exhaust our internal security resources, we are even willing to invoke the Constitution and apply even instruments and personnel of external defense who, as you know, under the law, can be called in extreme circumstances to restore order. Because these bandits, the problem with them is that they have been living in a culture of impunity, that they do what they do and nothing happens. So I don't think we will go there. We will not need to use the military, for example. We have enough sophistication, enough arms, enough personnel from the human resources within the internal security sector to make sure we fight this problem. We'll do deployment of assets, deployment of vehicles, deployment of aircrafts, deployment of personnel, deployment of command in this region, and the numbers are not worrying us. We have enough police officers.
And now moving over now to the national security. The IPOA and the civil society organizations in the country have sort of pointed a finger at you and the IG National Police Service for issuing remarks that could easily prompt arbitrary use of firearms in the National Police Service. There's a delicate balance here. On one hand, we want to fight criminals. On the other hand, we could bring about arbitrary use of firearms. Are you looking at your side mirrors as you take that step?
I want to clarify, for the avoidance of doubt, that the Constitution of Kenya and all the applicable international treaties and conventions empower police officers to use force, maximum force, including lethal force, if their life, as they go about their work of protecting citizens, is in danger. And therefore, without wading into any debate, because I don't think we can run our security sector through debates and discussions, I want to say we will remain focused on what the law says, both international and national law. And therefore, our officers are aware how to use firearms, when, and in what circumstances. And I think those who are taking part in this debate could be missing the point. We are not talking about unlawful use of firearms, where you could have one errant or two errant police officers harassing wananchi who are innocent using firearms, or shooting at unarmed protesters who are talking politics or talking things about their own governance issues. As I said last time, the right of people to picket and demonstrate is a constitutional right guaranteed under the law. It is not my business really to even venture into what the protesters are saying, because they have a right to talk to government, they have a right to tell the relevant government agencies to take certain action. And what we are talking about here, we are not talking about the use of firearms, for example, in peaceful protests or in unarmed assemblies. The work there of a police officer is very minimal. But we are talking about a police officer who is encountering head-on Al-Shabaab militants in an exchange of fire. We are talking about an officer who is pursuing bandits who have stolen 1,000 head of cattle, and they have cornered them somewhere, and these bandits are armed and they open fire and they want to kill these officers. When it comes to those kind of operational issues, the Constitution and international law allows police officers to use force to neutralize threats on themselves and threats to citizens who are facing grave danger from criminals. So we are not going to wait until our officers are shot dead. We are not going to wait until wananchi are shot dead in their numbers. We will engage the cattle rustlers, and we know what to do within the law, and we will account for whatever action will be taken. It will be accounted for. But let nobody teach us our work. Let nobody try to dictate to us how operations will be made. We will do those operations. We will ensure they are done within the law. And my job as a minister is to provide that quality control, to make sure that what we are doing is in the interest of the safety of the nation and it is within the law. Otherwise, I think the misuse of firearms in ordinary activities, there could be a small number, 1 or 2 officers who are misguided. Those ones, there is a way in which the law will deal with them. When I was being vetted, I reminded the country how in 2012 we lost 42 officers wearing the uniform of our country who were gunned down in cold blood in an ambush by criminals. And you know, there is nothing that hurts our national pride more than when someone wearing the uniform of your country is brought down by the fire of a criminal. So those are the things we are talking about. We are not talking about these mundane issues or in the past also. And I think also those who are a bit, who are saying we need to be careful, also have a point. And politicize the police and the security sector. So you would see policemen being deployed in political meetings to shoot in the air, sometimes hurt people in a political rally. We had also politicized the police, and some of our officers were being given illegal orders to go and break meetings of people whose politics are not consistent with the politics of the administration of that time. That is not our business. We'll be called to political meetings to keep law and order and to make sure that people express their political rights freely without interference from people who don't agree with their policies. We will protect all our leaders, make sure they are enabled to discharge their leadership roles, whether they are leaders in the government side or they are leaders in the opposition side. But when it comes to sensitive...
Now, let's talk about the chiefs and guns right now, Waziri. You have made the recommendation to arm chiefs in volatile areas, 13 counties considered very volatile, so that they can be able to delve into the whole question of the front lines and help sort the security situation in the country. But some quarters have felt that you're bringing back the all-powerful chief era when the chief was the judge, jury, and executioner.
Chiefs, as officers of the national government administration, require law enforcement capacity to be able to assist government to rein in on lawlessness. And that is why we have taken a policy decision to make sure that every chief across the country has access to about not less than 5 police officers who will assist them in law enforcement. We are still discussing with the National Police Service on how this will happen, but most likely the Inspector General under the law will utilize the part of the law that empowers him to set up a special unit for purposes of special policing. But when it comes to the chiefs bearing arms, I was very clear, not every chief in the Republic of Kenya will be vetted for arms. It is only in the special and security sensitive, dangerous places where criminals have run amok, where we are asking chiefs to coordinate the tracking and the following up of stolen livestock at very great danger. So it is in the very specific counties, about 13, 14 counties, where there's real lawlessness and where chiefs should team up with the police, with the formed unit and all other agencies. And we cannot have chiefs in these areas without arms, because some of them, when they retreat to sleep, they become the targets of criminals. We just lost 2 weeks ago the senior chief of one of the locations in Laikipia North. Criminals came at home at night and just liquidated him. So not every chief will bear arms themselves, only in special areas. But even in those areas, we have to vet them, because some of them are a bit frail. They are not physically fit to bear arms and use them. So it's not, again, a blanket policy.